Morning everyone, welcome to All Four Queens on this Sunday morning. Hope everyone's doing well and you're doing all your practices and you're getting yourself out and about a little bit in, I think it's classed as autumn here, fall in America. I don't know where everywhere else. Interesting day. I think I said yesterday there's a lot of dark energy. I've got people who have moved in and I don't know if it's someone's ex or if it's my ex, whoever it is, or if it's someone that's been paid, but they're just constantly throwing dark magic at me and at the house. So if somebody does know me and it is one of your exes, I suggest you take control of it, because I think the readers are picking up on fires and things like that. Is that what you're trying to create? Creating the prophecy, that the lies that we've said, the fact that I'm not supposed to be here and things like that. I'm not quite sure, but it's probably not the best way to behave, is it really? And obviously everything is recorded and people are seeing what you're doing, whether that be in the physical or the spiritual. So and as I said, all you're doing is manifesting me something new. So as I manifest to move on, but you're holding me back because you're creating all these silly little issues, you're just manifesting me something new. So I say thank you for that. So I got a lot of things that I needed to do. There's one where someone's been in my laptop again and gave me scripture, so I've posted that. And there's this one. So I was gonna do the ones that I said yesterday, but I was put towards the false prophets. Now I'd done that previously and I've written that about a month ago, but I just didn't record and post on it. But I think it's quite poignant at this moment in time. The one thing that I'm going to say though, and I know they say don't judge and you will be judged, but I feel like I am being judged, so therefore I'm entitled to have an opinion around what I'm about to say. And I feel like the collective has been judged with us being gang stalked and harassed forever, and I'm not saying that it's just purely the odd few. I think it goes higher than that. For those that we pay to serve and protect us, not everyone does. I know there are some that do, and I'm very grateful for you, and I thank you so much for doing what you what you signed up to do. But there are those that have decided to go down the other road. But I feel like there's a whole thing about seeming to judge the collective who just want the world to be at peace and to bring more love and light in. And I don't really get the logic in that myself personally. But hey ho, only you know why you think the way you do. And but I've been put towards the false prophets. So, and the other thing I want to say before I get into it is, we're all entitled to have what we believe in terms of our faith. I don't force my faith on anyone, and I don't force my recordings on anyone. And whoever's decided to block me from sharing in the world, then that says more about you than it does about me, because I'm just putting stuff out that I'm guided to do. If people want to watch it and people want to take more interest in it and go and do a bit more, it's not down for you or for me to dictate how they want to move forward with their choices. But when you start coming into someone's laptop and start putting scripture in there without any context, you're basically forcing your view on someone, and that isn't okay. We're all entitled to choice. That's what life is about, choice. But we're also entitled to privacy and have our human rights protected. And so if you've got a belief in something, then I will respect your belief, but I ask that you respect mine, and I ask that you respect my privacy as well, because I'm not coming into your laptop. I don't even know who you are, and even if I did, I still wouldn't come into your laptop, because that's your belief and I respect your belief, but I ask that you respect mine as well, because we're all entitled to what we want to believe. And obviously I follow scripture. If you follow scripture and you interpret it a different way, good for you. But all I'm saying is, You can't force what you want to believe on someone just because you believe it. It's not the way it works. So let's get into the false prophets. So beware of the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. So let's read it from scripture. It's in Matthew 7:14, and it says, the tree and its fruits. Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot hear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot hear good fruit. Every tree that does not hear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus, by the fruit you will recognize them. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only he who does the will of the Father who is in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? And in your name drive out demons and perform many miracles? Then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. Away from you, you evildoers. I'm going to read the wise and the foolish builders. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the wind blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall, because it had its foundations on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down, and the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against the house, and it fell with a great crash. When Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were amazed at his teaching, because he taught as one who had authority and not as the teacher of law. So, I think that goes back to my point. I teach, and I want people to take a different perspective, raise the vibration, hopefully want to make some personal changes in their life, and go and do a bit of research and figure stuff out for themselves. And if they need my help, I'm here. What I don't do is teach and dictate and coercively control as though it's the law. And I think that at the moment is what's happening when people are coming into my laptop, forcing their view on how they see scripture. To me, I'm going to ask the question, if you feel the need to do that, then maybe you need to go back and do a bit more prayer, meditation, and seek, because I don't do that. I share what I'm asked to share, and then I let people take it away and have choice. And think, for me, that is religion and that is spirituality. Choice. I've said people can operate in the dark all their life, but as long as they tell me that they operate in the dark, I then have a choice whether I want to deal with them or not. But when you don't give people choice, that's taking away their rights and their freedom and their free will. So I hope those that understand that take from it what they will. I think it also comes back to, people can tell you who they are, what they've got, blah, blah, blah. But the proof is in the pudding, isn't it? And the proof is in the fruits. What do they grow that's good, and what do they not grow? So if you look at it in another way, you could look at the spirit, couldn't you? Are they kind and giving and helping people grow? Or are they dictating and keeping people controlled and restrained? Because whoever came for my house, that was a control mechanism, wasn't it? It wasn't a kind gesture. It was a control. It was from an emotional ego perspective, opposed to being from an intuitive, let's think about this, actually, what am I actually doing? So that's what I'm saying. So look at it from that perspective, and you'll understand. I mean, that the whole purpose of this is to grow, and is to elevate, and to be able to get more light in, not continue in the dark train. But if you want to stay there, that's absolutely fine. But I just don't think you should be pushing your views on other people when they're not pushing their views on you and they haven't invited you to do so. If I've asked you to do it, then I would, ask you, but I haven't. So that's the point on that one. So hopefully, false prophets, understand it. Look at it from your own perspective. Look around. Sometimes you don't realise that the people around you are not always necessarily the voice of reason, and you have to ask yourself sometimes, especially in these times, we work on the premise that, say, like family and friends we've had for a very long time are because we've had them for a long time. But actually, how much growth have you had out of it? How many times have they said, oh no, you don't want to do that, you don't want to do that, oh no, you don't want to do that? Why are they saying you don't want to do that? Why aren't they not saying, oh yeah, that's great, try it, see how it goes. If it's going to work for you, brilliant. And then blah, blah, blah. And if it doesn't, mate, then at least you've tried. How many people say that to you in your life? But how many are quick to tell you not to do something? So, food for thought, the false prophet and the prophets. Anyway, gonna love you and leave you. Hope it leaves you with something and something to consider. I'm not telling you to go and walk away from everyone. If you want to stay in that environment, that's absolutely fine. All I'm just giving you is food for thought and a different perspective on the way to see things, that's all. And if you want growth, then sometimes you have to close off certain cycles, and people, places and things are cycles. So love yous and leave you, sending light, and have a great day. See you later. Bye.